All right, guys, welcome to my cooking channel. Today we are making the Mexican Fiesta bowl. It's a very gourmet meal and you're gonna be very impressed by my cooking skills. Totally kidding, I'm terrible at cooking, as you will find out. I'm not even gonna let you guys judge my cutting because I have no idea how to cut properly. But this is real life stuff. Some of us are not great at cooking. So this is a great meal that you can utilize throughout the week and you can make it in bulk. You can always double this recipe as well. And what you'll notice is you can swap things out. So for instance, this recipe calls for brown rice. I chose jasmine rice, I just prefer it. And then it calls for chicken, and I had some lean ground beef, so I'm utilizing what I have in my fridge. I will be going out of town, so I don't want to let things go bad. So I'm gonna eat this. And I took something out, so I didn't have any bell peppers on hand, and instead of going to buy some, I just said, hey, I'm just not gonna put them in. So that's kind of something that you will realize. If you have things in the fridge that are going bad or in your freezer that you wanna use, go ahead and throw them into this. So you can kind of make it whatever you want it to be. You'll notice that you don't really have to totally follow this recipe, but it's a great idea as to what you could use. So I'm gonna start sauteing some onions and garlic. And I'm just using a little bit of minced garlic because I think that works. So it calls for a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm actually using avocado oil. So again, just what I had, just preference of what I like to use. I like to use avocado oil. I'm gonna put those on. Should probably turn my stovetop on. Another thing to talk about while we're prepping this. One thing that I noticed as I was getting started with tracking my food was that I kept trying to meal prep. And what I mean by meal prep is I would package out certain meals, and I would notice that as I got to that meal, I didn't really want it anymore. So I had this everything prepackaged. What I noticed when I started doing is I started prepping just bulk foods. So what I would do is I would prep 2 to 3 protein options and keep them in separate containers. Same with carbohydrates, veggies, and then fats I always kept on the side. And what I would do is I would mix and match. So this is one of those meals that's kind of how you create them. You just kind of throw things in that you have, and then you get different flavors. You can add different seasoning. You can put a little bit of sauce on it, and it's a completely different meal. That, if you're someone who notice that you meal prep and you end up wasting all your meals at the end of the week, that is a great option for you to try. So we're gonna get this going. I'm telling you, this is the most gourmet meal you will ever have. All right, so we're gonna just brown that, get that going. I already prepped my rice. Obviously I had in my protein. So what it calls for next is we have to, this is gonna be my bowl we're using. So we're going to measure out half a cup of rice. We're gonna pack that in there. Just kidding, we're not gonna fully pack it, okay? Pour that into your bowl. And then it calls for, let's see, I'm gonna weigh my meat. Turn it on. We're going to get about 4.5 ounces of meat. I season my meat with taco seasoning, so it's perfect for this kind of thing. Again, you can change your seasoning and spices up. All I know is taco seasoning on ground meat because I like tacos. After that, we are going to start working on we're gonna let this brown a little bit. After that, we're gonna start working on our pico de gallo, which, again, no idea how to cut, so we're just gonna slice away. Ooh, that was bad. Slice, slice, slice. Pick and choose however much you want. Go off what the recipe calls for if you want to start. But again, I just kind of eyeball. depending how much food you have left for the day. If you're really hungry, if it's post-workout, or maybe this is a breakfast meal for you. I love eating regular food for breakfast because everyone always thinks that that's not allowed, but it is. Just like you can eat breakfast for dinner. Feel free to eat what you want when you want, except cake, because that's not something to eat every day. Okay. When I tell you I'm terrible at, I don't even know how I'm supposed to properly dice. I just do it the way that I know. So, we're going to put our pieces of tomato. I'm not going to say our diced tomato because it's certainly not diced. I used half of a tomato just because that's what I wanted to use. From there, you're going to squeeze your lime juice on there. This is about done. Yeah, nice and brown. Turn that off. We're going to pour this on top. Yeah, that looks yummy. Okay. So we got that. It looks like I burnt it. I promise I did not. So we squeezed our lime on there. Told me to squeeze some onion. I never do that. I usually just put actual little bit of onion in there. Just something fresh. And then we need some salt. And then we're gonna put this in here as well. We're gonna stir this baby up with our spoon. And we're gonna get fancy in here, okay? So this is what it looks like. It looks like hodgepodge. It's delicious, okay? So don't judge it until you try it. It's kind of like people who mix up their burrito bowls, you know, from Chipotle. All right, so I'm gonna do 1/4 of an avocado because sometimes you can't have as much fats in a meal, you know? We're gonna put that on there. Look, it's already looking gourmet with my avocado. And then we always get a little bit of cilantro. I don't know the right way to do this either. I just chop it really small because I don't even really know. Like cilantro, I'm just told you're supposed to use cilantro on dishes. Okay, so that kind of looks gross. But here's our Mexican Fiesta bowl. Let's try it out. Taste test. Delicious. Go ahead, try this meal. If you do, take a picture and send it to me so I can see.